Hey, what's up everyone? I am Mario Tarantino. Welcome to my channel, and I am here to do a spoiler reaction for Thor Ragnarok. It is late on Friday night, and I just got back from a screening. I had just posted a spoiler-free reaction to the movie if you haven't already seen it, and this will be my spoiler review. From this point on, we have a spoiler alert in effect. If you haven't seen the movie, please do not watch this video until after you have seen the movie, because I'm going to be giving away a lot of major plot points, a lot of details about the film. So let's just dive right into it. So I will say I did enjoy the film. It's a great time at the movies. There's a lot to like. It's a very funny movie, but there's a lot that I just didn't like about this movie. Like I said in my previous video, I give it about a 7 out of 10. I like it a lot better than the first two Thor movies in the entire scheme of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you've seen my previous video, you know where I rank every other movie. I say this one is about my new number 9, so about halfway through the list now. It's a pretty good movie. But a couple things I just didn't like. I feel the first, about the first 20 minutes or so of the movie are extremely rushed. We open with Thor just in this dungeon, in a cage, just with Sotar, and he's being held captive, and he needs to break free. I thought that opening scene was very funny. There's a lot of really good comedy there with him spinning in the chain, and then that action sequence was very kick-ass with him fighting his way through and then trying to get back to Asgard. My problem begins once he gets to Asgard and he sees that fake play being put on about his family. Very surprised cameo by Matt Damon and Luke Hemsworth there. I was sitting with my friend. He leans over to me. He goes, "Is that Matt Damon?" And I'm like, "It's freaking Matt Damon right there." That was an amazing cameo right there. I did not expect that at all. It did take me a little bit out of the movie, to be completely honest, just seeing Matt Damon there, and then Luke Hemsworth and Sam Neill is in there playing Odin in that play. So we got a little bit of a mini Jurassic Park reunion with him and Jeff Goldblum, even though they're not in the same scene. But good on that. I really enjoyed that Matt Damon part. I have the issue once Loki reveals himself as Odin. It's done really for comedic purposes. There's no tension, there's no drama there, and then they go straight to New York, and then Doctor Strange showed up, and I think that was just a complete throwaway moment of Doctor Strange. He was kind of just forced in there. He served nothing to the plot. Yeah, he got them to Odin, but I mean, they're two magical demigods. They could have found Odin fairly easily. I mean, that was just a complete waste of Doctor Strange. He felt really forced in there. And then once they found Odin, within 2 minutes of us being with him, he dies. Like that, and we felt no impact of his death. There was no emotional feeling connected with that. And even the boys did not express any real emotional impact, because as soon as that beat happens, we get straight into Hela. And we had no explanation of her besides, oh, this is your sister, the goddess of death. She's very powerful. Don't let her go to Asgard because she'll become more powerful. But that's about it. Like, we don't know her powers. We don't know what she's doing. We know she's been locked away, but that's about it. So then we meet Hela. Cate Blanchett does a good job with what she's given here. My biggest problem was we never clearly defined the characters. So the whole movie, I just watch her make weapons appear and rock formations appear, and I don't understand any of it because they never define her powers or anything like that. So I wish they would have done that. But Cate Blanchett does a good job with what she's given. Like I said, she is Thor's sister, which makes it pretty interesting. So she claims to be the rightful heir of the throne of Asgard. And then basically when Loki and Thor are on their way back to Asgard, she follows them. They get in a fight on the way, and Thor gets pushed into this new planet, where we later find out Loki is also there, and this is the planet run by Jeff Goldblum's the Grand Master. Um, I love Jeff Goldblum in this movie. That was probably my highlight of the movie. He is in full Jeff Goldblum effect, and it's absolutely amazing just watching him on screen. So that was a big highlight. A lot of comedy takes place there. I will say, for a movie called Thor Ragnarok, there was not a lot of Ragnarok happening. A lot of the fighting was, I mean, there was no like threat that I felt throughout the entire movie. Like, yeah, Hela's taking over Asgard, but for the most part, we're talking about her taking over Asgard and not really seeing the effects that it's having, if that makes any sense. But everything with Thor and Hulk in this movie, we were sold on this movie by the big gladiator type battle between Gladiator Hulk and Thor, which we get. It's a very funny. The scene's done comedically more than an action scene, but it's very funny. A lot of the comedy really works in this movie. My biggest problem with this is as you guys know, Hulk has been Hulk for about 2 years now, so he's starting to talk, and he talks kind of childish like. I did not like the talking Hulk in this movie. A lot of it was done just to make more jokes out of this movie. A lot of the jokes kind of felt forced, but a lot of them didn't. So when he would speak just for comedic purposes, I did not like it. When Hulk was fighting, it was badass in every single way, and that's all I wanted to see. But when he would kind of just talk, like when he was in his bedroom just talking to Thor, I didn't need a lot of that. A lot of that felt really forced to me, and just kind of took me out seeing Hulk talk. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. But that was a little bit distracting to me. But besides that, all the action in this movie, from what we got, worked really well. I want to talk a little bit about this right here, because this was a little deceitful. Very good on Marvel for tricking us into this, but as we know, at the end of the movie, Hela takes out one of Thor's eyes, which I loved. Thor looks so badass with an eye patch. Like I said, I already love the new look of Thor so much, but with an eye patch, it just makes him infinitely more badass. But going back to this, just in general, Thor without his hammer, I want to talk about. I really like Thor without his hammer. I am going to miss it in the future because it looks like we're never getting it back. But I love the whole Odin speaking to him and telling him, the power is always inside of you. It's not, it was never a way, it was never the source of your power. It was always a way for you to control it. It was always a way for you to learn to control it. And when Thor unleashes his inner power, it's just... shit is amazing with that. It's absolutely crazy. I loved Electrified Thor. I loved how Jeff Goldblum called him Sparkles. That's just so Jeff Goldblum. I loved that. But that was definitely a highlight. Was the ending. I really like the ending of this movie. I'm curious how we're tying this into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. As we've seen from that mid-credit scene, the very last post-credit scene was kind of a throwaway with Jeff Goldblum. But that mid-credit scene I want to talk about right here real quick, because with Thor and Loki, I haven't done the research yet, but with that spaceship there, I'm assuming that's Thanos' ship. And as you know, if you've seen the Infinity War trailer, Thor ends up smacking right into the windshield of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we need to get there at some point. So I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of battle with that spaceship, either at the very beginning of Infinity War, or maybe we'll get it in a post-credit scene with Black Panther. We do have one more movie before Infinity War, and that's Black Panther in February. So maybe we'll see something there, but I'm doubting it. And we need to get Thor to crash into that windshield. Loki will obviously escape. I don't know if he's going back to Earth. And then we also have Hulk, who needs to somehow get back to Earth. We have a lot of loose ends we need to tie up there with that post-credit scenes. It definitely left a lot of questions. But I'm not really sure whose spaceship that was. I'm assuming it's Thanos at this point, but I'll do some more researching it back to you guys. But those are my overall thoughts of the movie. I'm going to end it here because it's getting pretty late now and I want to get this video up. But let's just go over it real quick. Highlights. I loved everything Bruce Banner did in this movie. I loved Mark Ruffalo and Bruce Banner. Not so crazy on Hulk. I loved the look. I'm not a big fan of the talking. Loved the action. The visuals of this movie were amazing. I loved Chris Hemsworth. He was able to really be free. He embodies Thor the same way every other Marvel character or Marvel actor embodies their character. He did a really good job in this movie. Naturally funny. A lot of the comedy of this really worked for me, but just some of it didn't. And the biggest highlight of them all, Jeff Goldblum doing Jeff Goldblum. You never beat it. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with me, I'm sure you will be very vocal about that. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing a lot more fun content. But for all, that's all I've got for you guys. I will see you next time. Have a great day or great night whenever you're watching this. I'll see you next time.